Frontline, mission 3.2, impossible difficulty. Let's get into it. For this, with the colony setup, you can have it as level default or custom, doesn't matter. Just make sure that you pick the stun leaf cutter mages, and that's all you want. Obviously, as you can clearly see, no abilities here, because that's not what we're doing. Let's go. So you start on Underground, and you also get some leaf cutter media ants. Now, you don't actually need them to clear anything out other than this down here, because what you could do is dig like so, and that's going to make a lot of 19 for your workers, and the same can be done down here like so, which is going to be there for your media ants. Now, you didn't really need to dig this out the way that I've done it to start with. This is just for demonstration purposes. Anyway, you're just going to kill that little bastard down there, and what you're going to do is you're going to roll around like this, and this is going to be for your food pile. And then other than that, you're all good to go. You're all pretty much set. What you're going to do is going to come right up here. You want to clear this plateau of all food by the first day. So just get straight up here. Take food off for your immediate ants. Allow them to kill everything up and above ground. Meanwhile, your workers down here are going to be running over and grabbing from this plant because it's furthest away from most of the enemies on the plateau. Make sure you combat stuff for your workers. You don't want them sat here getting bogged down in combat, which they're not very good at. You just want them gathering, which is what they're good at. The media, however, are good at gathering and combat. So you can use them to keep this plateau nice and clear as the day progresses. So to get them up and rolling, plant some workers, get them down, get this nice and fleshed out, get gathering food as quickly as possible. You want to pop down a leaf storage ASAP. And what you can also do is you can roll over here, like so. And this will make a nice little area for your waste stockpile to go in. We should be able to do it without triggering any enemies. If you do, don't worry. You can use your chamber of media to come and kill most of this stuff. It isn't really much of a challenge for you such. So the morning comes and changeover time arrives. And this is where the mobs leave these plateaus here. And then swap out the nighttime creatures for daytime creatures. This is the most critical part. This is when you're going to bump into a lot of mobs and cause problems with your supply line. So just be wary of that and move your troops away accordingly. You should be okay on this plateau. This first day, this is the one that you want to be grabbing. This is the one that you want to be taking and seizing control of. Make sure you get a nice lot of 19 workers, and then you're basically just going to punch media ants all the way now. Okay, so the army ants arrive. They come in and they sweep forward. Basically, this gate, you do not want these little gates to get past to this second one. You're in deep, deep trouble if this gate manages to get activated, and you're going to have to struggle to be able to get out of it. Now, it must be noted here that you don't actually need a very large food stockpile, and this is because that it's only held temporarily in here. So a couple of quick upgrades is more efficient for this than actually building this out fully. So I would just prioritize your upgrades on that front. For your waste stockpile, however, you are going to need quite a bit. So I would suggest spending this early on to clear this waste out as quickly as possible. The reason why you want to do this is so that your minions actually spend more time putting the food on the tiles than taking the waste off and in the dump. So the grey bar appears. This means that the army ants are running away. They're going to go back and hide away for the day. This is perfect and prime opportunity for you to start gathering some food. Make sure you finish off your medias. You should have this done by the end of the day like I've done here. And then this should nearly be done and gone and dead and buried and eaten and getting processed into food for you. Keep an eye on your waste tiles. I tend to make a block like this and then just upgrade the lovely tiles to tier 3, because at tier 3 it's a super efficient way of getting rid of all this waste here. But there you go. You've got your nice block of media. Don't worry about upgrading them. You're not going to need to upgrade them. It's not what you're using them for. What you're going to do is mark out a nice area ready for your leaf cutter mages. So just cut that out like so, and that'll be perfect. You can, just to demonstrate, you're going to run that line like this and like this, and that will give you your 19 block shape, which is what you're going to use for upgrading and building your major ants. There we go. Speaking of which, there goes my first one. Get down here, grab this plant, because this becomes a problem a little bit later on. You can save this for later. I tend not to. I tend to save the areas up here for later, because there's a lot of scattered food out here that we don't really need to be gathering. I'm using my workers right now to get that stuff. When waste tiles is becoming an issue, do not worry. Get them down. Get them upgraded. Just splurge the money now, nice and early. Get this cleared out so that you've got enough space to be able to keep planting, getting the fungus, and getting your troops up and rolling as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Now, what you can do, you have options here now. You can clear this plateau really early on, or you can come and clear these down here. You can actually do both. You run your workers all the way down instead of gathering from up here, which again I say is quite easy to get food from. Get up there, get this plateau cleared. You should be able to clear this by morning if you're really aggressive. If not, you'll have a lot of it at least done. You've cleared this pocket and corner over here, which becomes a problem. You'll then clear this, which becomes a problem a little bit later on. So you should be good to go. Once again, don't worry about Derek. He's not going to come over right now. On the next night, he will, though, however. So you've got to be careful and got to be ready for him. Daybreak is coming, and you should have been able to demolish all of this plateau and get the one down here. Right, you're going to gather your threes up. You're going to start attacking the army ants on this day. So what you want to do is have your media down here on the gather. Your workers are going to come up here and gather up this way where it's nice and safe for them. Your media can take most of this stuff on without issue. Hence why we're using them down here and this way. The army ants are here. Here comes the wave. They're very close to reaching this gate. Hence why today you need to be attacking them and you need to be getting stuck in and murdering them off. Let this wave come forward. Let this get past you first because you don't want to be taking on all these tier 3s. Certainly not right now when you're still only on tier 1. If needs be, you can pull media alongside you in order to help fight, as media will stand under the mages. However, you will incur a lot of losses this way, so I advise caution against doing it because now look at this. This is crippling your economy right here. Keep going again. Again, this needs to be done. You need to keep this nice and low, so I just keep running these hit and run tactics all of today. It's no worries. Don't worry about it. Just make sure that this does not go past this green gate. Otherwise, you're absolutely boned. Keep pushing down. You see that the nice grey bar has appeared now. You keep pushing down. You should be able to get something like this, whereby you really punch the army ants all the way down here. I would just sit here because you're going to catch some of these coming up from the bottom right now. But there's also another reason, and I'll show you in a moment. So what you can do for this is you can actually run your mages and your medias should you wish and have time and the ability to do so. You want to run them over to here. You want to make sure that their combat is off, their food is off to start with. You're just going to cross over here. You're going to completely ignore all of this problem. And what you can do is you can grab this. This is basically free food. So once they're across like so, and they get right next to this plant, that's when you want them to be doing this. Okay? And then same with the 2s. You can flick food on now. Just get them climbing up here, gathering all this food and running back. Your combat is off, so therefore you're not going to deal with these army ants here. You'll be able to get through nice and quickly. And this is just a bunch of free food that you can gather from here, which is a far away, really hard to reach location. Nice and early, and that's before Derek emerges from his nest. Now, Derek is going to come out on this day and become a problem. So what you're going to do is you're going to run these up here, these up here. Your mages are going to stay inside the nest for the moment until they get ready to attack Derek. You should have 19 blob already, rocking, ready to go. You can start running some upgrades should you wish, should you need to. I would prioritize trying to get tier 3s as quickly as possible, as they are far superior. Derek will prevent you from getting any food down here, should you have left it. Prevent you from accessing here, should you have left it. Or even down here where army ants and this lovely little hill is, although at night this is a problem. However, you can still gather from this corner, and you can also gather from up here, round here, without issue. What you're going to do is going to throw your tier 2s and your tier 3s at Derek. You're going to make sure that your combat is on for both groups. And make sure that your food gather is off. You don't want that getting in the way. And you're going to go take him on. And you're just going to throw your troops at it and keep going. You've got plenty of food in your stockpiles. You've got plenty of food up here. You basically just need to keep a hold and just keep attacking Derek. Wonderful. So with Derek defeated, you now have access to food in their nest. That's 1,250 food for defeating Derek. What you can do now is I can run my workers in here to gather this stuff. You can guard this route with my 3s. But you can come up here and clear this nice and early. Be super aggressive with it. Why not? Like I say, you've got to push the boundaries a bit. Okay, so after absolutely bullying our way up, I did turn the combat off for the media ants, as we can let our mages now clear the rest of this plateau. You're basically just going to guard this all night now and gather food from in here. Like I said, there's going to be no enemy spawning in here, so this is absolutely free food. What you do is make sure that your mages come down, deal with any threat to your supply line, and just keep running. So with this plateau cleared, you want to be getting on these as quickly as possible. You don't want to sit and have to reclaim and retake these plateaus. Like I say, Derek's nest is now undefended, so you don't have to worry about that food. You can grab that later. What you want to be doing is getting this food up here. This food up here is relatively undefended, so again, you don't need to worry about grabbing this just yet. What you want to do is be getting the food on these plateaus first. So you get the switchover period starts where the mantises start running away and going and doing their own business. The army ants will be here soon. So what you can do, you got a nice little strategy here that you can actually place this, see, just in line with where the leaf is. So about here, you want to place a marker there and you want to place a marker there. That's going to be marker 1, marker 2. What you can do is by placing your markers here, is they'll run all the way around, therefore not getting attacked. You can only do it for this one here. This will avoid the army ants as well, which run like right up the middle to collect the food from this pile here. So you're all good. You can gather this indefinitely, which is why you normally leave this alone, and then you can get this one as and when. But it's a good way to gather during the day. You just run your media and your workers up and around the problem, and you'll avoid the issue. Once this is all gathered up here, you need to pull your troops back. You want to make sure that your ones are gathering, that can gather up here from this pocket. Twos can gather up here, or you can be super aggressive. So night arrives, changeover period begins. What I would suggest is you can gather food from Derek's nest, but I would prioritize trying to clear the other plateau and getting the food from there, because you're not going to be able to get access to it later on as the mobs become too numerous and will kill you off. Once again, bane of my existence, these mantids are becoming quite the pain around here in the Undergrowth. So you need to destroy them with extreme prejudice. So once again in the morning, wait for the army ants to pass and then attack them in their flank, and then get your mages charging all the way down here. What you can do is, once you've blocked with your mages, preventing the army ants from coming up, is you can actually use your media to go and grab the plants up top, and then use your workers to gather from Derek's nest. If you're running into any army ant scouts, don't worry, they all contribute towards your score, so just keep mobbing them down and keep killing them and keep killing them. It's all going to help you. If they call for reinforcements, oh no, what a terrible shame. You'll have more things to fight, which is just a lot more fun for you because it makes this bar go away. Here come their reinforcements. It's absolutely no worries. I'm just going to pull my mages over here. Bring them right down. Allow them to fight all the way up in here and kill all of these army ants off. Again, it contributes all to this score at the bar here. So you can really get rid of them quite quickly. So if they're calling for help at this stage, it's actually preferred. Grey bar goes again, which means they're going to start pulling back. What you're going to do, again, is going to come over here and try and gather this food across with your mages. So this is the night where things become a problem, and you can see here you've got large crickets, giant velvet worms, you've got the little spray coach horses, adult devil's coach horses, or whatever the jungle version is. And this is becoming a problem. This is supposed to be a safe zone, but on the hand over here, this is an issue. This is why staying inside the nest kind of works out in your favor. You just stay away from all this problem. It is only trying to transit up here, but it's still a major issue that you have to deal with. So therefore, I would suggest staying inside the nest if you've got enough food and just holding fire until the daybreak happens, and then keep attacking the army ants. You're now just solely trying to attack army ants, and you're probably going to be doing most of your gathering during the day, especially on the mound to the bottom left, because that's where you're going to get most of your food. And then this is on you. You need to pick and choose. You need to start having a look now at where to gather food, and just keep the pressure on the army ants. You should be able to drive them back. If you do overrun into another day, just stay inside the nest. At night now, it is not worth coming outside. It's not worth clearing those plateaus, so you should have had them done earlier. You should have had both plateaus and the food to the top and Derek's nest all cleared by this night, by night 3. Get in, keep pushing, keep attacking. Don't take no for an answer for these army ants. They've been a pain and a thorn on our side for long enough. They've caused so much stress and distress that this is nothing compared to the inconvenience that they have caused us. Keep rolling down, just keep it rolling. I keep your markers probably about here. You don't want to go too far, because otherwise the pathing changes. So about here is pretty much picked perfect. Run back up if you need to deal with this this mob. It's coming right back in my back over here. Oh no. Alright, well, we've got to get stuck in. But our tier 3s have high health, higher damage, stupidly great stun. Get stuck in, drive them back. They stand no chance against your tier 3s. The bar is flying down. Army ants are falling everywhere. Keep going, keep going. You got this. All that hard work, all the pain, all the suffering, all the attempts that you might have had, they'll all be worth it. Get stuck in. Just murder this stuff off. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Years, my leaf cutters, years. And finally, once you've overwhelmed them and this bar is at 0, you get this screen.
Against impossible odds, the soldiers of the Atta stronghold met the tyrannical intruders with ferocious defiance time and time again. Unable to break their lines and after tremendous losses, the army ant swarm has finally elected to move on. For the leafcutters, the ultimate trial is over.
Boom! Victory for Atacephalotus. And there you go. That is it on impossible difficulty. How do you think I did? How did you do? Let me know. Let me know if this is good. Is there anything you would do differently? Other than that, I will see you in the next one. Peace.